Welcome, St. Petersburg. We are WordPress St. Petersburg. You have joined our live stream. Welcome tonight. This is a live stream, so if you are coming here after the fact to YouTube, apologize, but we're going to be talking to our people that are dialing in or asking questions, and you can catch the call after the fact. With me tonight is Jen Novak, Lane Simmons, and Travis Lopes, our organizers, our co-organizers for WordPress St. Petersburg. I'm going to go and get started with the slides. So you are here tonight for the Ask Us Anything Crowdsourcing WordPress Support Workshop. We are WordPress St. Petersburg. We used to meet on the, we do meet on the first and third Tuesdays monthly, currently on live stream because we are dealing with the COVID quarantine. When we are back into a real location, we'll be back at the Suncoast Developers Guild in downtown St. Pete. Our website is our meetup website is meetup.com, WordPress St. Petersburg. Our website is wptampabay.org. We have a Slack chat, a Facebook group, and links to all of our meetups. There's also a nice little calendar on the right that shows all of our upcoming events. We are the member of the WordPress Tampa Bay network, which is at this point in time, Tampa, Brandon, St. Pete, and now Newport Richey. I don't have Newport Richey on the calendar at the moment here, but we will by the next time we have one of these. So let's go and get on talking about what our events are, our calendar events are. Upcoming meetups and events are always on our website at wptampabay.org events, and you can also see that link on the right-hand side of the screen. Next week, July 14th, WordPress Newport Richey will be doing their first official re-meetup. They're having a hangout, Meet Your WordPress Neighbor Networking. Go ahead and go to their meetup site, RSVP. My brain just completely died. I am going to shoot myself for that.
I like the green
Daniel, I like the green too. I think it looks good. Daniel Schutesmith is the new organizer for Newport Richey. I think he'll also be looking for additional co-leads, but for right now he has decided to come on board and help us get this meetup event restarted. It's going to be a good thing. We've had a lot of people wanting to see meetups back up there again, and I think they're going to be looking at possibly doing Tuesday or Wednesday. But they'll talk about that during the meetup next week on Tuesday, July 14th. RSVP to the event, let them know that you're going to go, and we'll see you next week at that one. And thank you, Daniel, for doing what you're doing. Following week on July 21st, we have our Google 101 and WordPress, getting your business up and running with Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and Google My Business. Jen's going to lead this one, and I'm going to be a dummy. I'm going to help you, just being a dummy. So, should be a fun one. We don't have this on the calendar yet, but I will get something up there as fast as possible, probably in the next day or so. Let's see. In August 4th, first Tuesday of the month, we have our Ask Us Anything for WordPress St. Pete. It will be a live stream, same thing, same bat channel, just like we're doing tonight. The following week, we are partnering with Tampa Tech for Good. They're having a website Q&A help session for nonprofits. I have the link on there for their meetup, but I've also added it to our meetup calendar on our website. So if you are interested in going to this one, if you're helping a nonprofit, if you want to help a nonprofit, we look for both tech volunteers and we look for people that are looking for help. So it is specifically for nonprofits though. So if you're looking for help for your burger business, sorry, we can't help you unless your burger business is giving all the burgers away. So, but that will be on their meetup group, but it's merged into our calendar. Okay. We are looking... Oh, in August, we are not going to have a scheduled talk in August. We're going to take that following week off and give us a break because we don't have anything lined up. We are looking for speakers. If you know WordPress web design, front end or back end, plugin reviews, theme reviews, anything pertinent to web design, we are looking for you. If you've never spoken public before, no problem. We're doing everything live stream. You don't have to worry about anybody looking at you. So this is great for your resume, your LinkedIn, or your Twitter. And if you go to our website at wptampabay.org speakers call, you will get the link to our speaker form to sign up to chat with us or be one of our speakers. Code of conduct for tonight. There are no stupid questions except the one you didn't ask. So we are here. We're available. If you've got questions, ask them. Tonight's the night to do that. We have a link for you can log in. Let me actually pop that up there real quick. There. If you have a question tonight, you can join the call. I've actually put that link out in our in the chat on both Facebook and on YouTube. So please join us if you have a question. We actually have somebody sitting in the green room right now waiting to talk. So yeah, we do. You see him down there? Limit your question, or we will be limiting questions to like 10 to 15 minutes. Any more than that, and you should be hiring a consultant. That also makes sure that we get through all the questions tonight. And when you're on the call, please try not to crosstalk. So if like you're on the call and someone else is on the call, just don't talk over each other. It's just one of those things. So that's going to be pretty much it for our discussions there. We do have a question currently. I'm going to go ahead and let me see if I can bring Andy in. Hang on one second. Let me get rid of that banner real fast. Bring up the group. I think that's us. Hey, Andy. Welcome.
Well, oh, hello. Hello from way up north in northern Canada.
Yeah. I had a feeling
over the air internet.
Wow. All righty then. We had you in the green. Yeah, we had you in the green room, so we thought we'd bring you in.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, what's your question tonight?
Well, I did have a question. I don't know if it came in. I've got a client who has a serious problem with security. He is a target, and I guess I'm just looking for what is the best practices you would suggest. I've suggested a number of things to him. Login page, don't go admin, hide the login page, to use backups, etc., etc. But he will continue to be a target, and therefore I'm looking for some best practices other than things.
What kind of targeting is happening? Is he like his forms are being hacked? Are his logins being hacked? What?
Well, he was using Contact Form 7, so I've already suggested to get out of that. And I suggested Gravity Forms or Forminator, one of the two.
I've heard of Forminator.
Pardon me?
Never heard of Forminator, but okay.
Oh, okay. So I've already, when he talked to his website, what happened is somebody logged into his website, disabled all his menu items, and then went and put all sorts of iterations of his domain names and sent out all sorts of stupid spam.
Okay. Real quick question first.
Yeah.
How secure is his desktop and the desktops that are logging into the website?
It would be secure.
That's where you have to start. That's where you absolutely first verify that there are no viruses on any of the websites that are logging into, or any of the computers that are logging into the site. That's the first level of attack.
Yeah.
And because that's where most people actually end up getting hacked, because they either use a bad password on their user accounts, and they've got keyloggers or something on their local website, or they're using a password that they use for some other site that has been dropped on a password list.
He doesn't do that. He has fairly significant passwords. They're strong. He's got two-factor authentication. Okay. And I do know, or we strongly suspect who the hackers are, and they're persistent.
Okay. Well, have you changed and deleted, replaced all of the IDs on the account to make sure that whatever IDs they were getting in through, they're not getting in through anymore?
I did not ask him that question.
That's critical. Because if they have got access before, they still have access.
I did suggest to him not to have a normal, don't use admin.
Never use admin
password.
Yeah, very first thing you do is...
password, I mean username. And he does not do that.
Yeah, there's a handful of things that they also recommend, like limit login attempts. What is? Isn't there a handful of those? What do you guys use? WordFence or something? Because I don't. I just use the standard built-in ones.
I use
limit
WordFence.
Login attempts.
He was with SiteLock, and it didn't help him.
Okay. I mean, WordFence is good.
Yeah.
from all I've heard. Yeah.
But that doesn't avoid SQL injections, though, does it?
Why are you having SQL
Yeah.
injections? That's not good.
We don't know if we have that. But we want to ensure that doesn't happen in the future.
You need to review your plugins. If you're getting
Yeah.
SQL injection errors, you've got to review your plugins.
Yeah, and we've done that. He doesn't look like he has anything out of line, and he's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total.
And you've audited the code in the theme to make sure
I'm
there's
sorry?
no. You've audited the themes code to make sure there's no.
No,
problem?
I haven't. I have not done that. No.
I would do
Yeah,
that.
it's a-
I would also. Have you been on the same host this whole time?
No. Well, he has. Yes.
Yeah. So I would, on top of that, I would manually go download the latest copy of WordPress and replace all the files, all the core files. Make sure
I
there's
have already
nothing
told him to
that.
do that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess what we're looking at is what's the best. If you have like WordFence or what I use, he used SiteLock, which was not happy with. But I suggested to him that he should be going with somebody like Cloudflare and go on their pro account, and that would help somewhat. Certainly would help from DDoS attacks.
Have you done a security scan to make sure there's nothing in it in the site?
He's told me that he's worked with Bluehost, and he said Bluehost did that with him.
Okay. So they're on Bluehost now?
Yes,
Okay. Interesting.
on the shared Bluehost, which
Yeah. I mean,
So
that doesn't really make one big... It impacts, activity, but it shouldn't cause anyone to be more vulnerable or not. That's kind of what it comes down to. Vulnerability usually, like I said, usually your sites are getting hacked by coming in through either they've got a password logger, a key logger, and they're getting in through the logins of the people that are logging into the site normally. And that's the first place you can stop that.
I would double check like any users on the site. Double
Yeah.
check what roles they're assigned to, what capabilities those roles have.
Yeah.
I would maybe even.
he's the only one. He's the only one who has access to the site to the back end.
Has he ever replaced that account? Because that's the first thing you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that again, Jim?
Create a brand new admin account with a
Yeah.
new email address and everything, new password, and delete the other one. Just that'll be like one way to kill that immediately. So
I would also cycle the FTP and MySQL passwords.
oh, good idea.
Something new.
Yeah. Salts? Did that make any difference? Reslicing the salts or that's automatic? isn't it?
That wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
What was the other? The FTP one? What was the other one?
The SQL database.
SQL?
Yeah, the database password. Yeah.
Yeah.
Change those. And they're in your WP config file, so yeah, definitely go ahead and replace your salts while you're in the WP config file.
I would also install the plugin Stream, STREAM by XWP.
Good idea. Good idea.
And that will track every action that is being taken by any logged in user on the site along with their IP address.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Okay. All right. I've talked to him this morning, and we went through a bunch of stuff. But I thought, it was something else. And this, you come up with a few things here that I didn't review with him.
Yeah.
And what kind of
And
hosting is this?
I put on your Facebook query, I said Clean Talk, which I've used for about a year now for a site.
Talk?
And it's only
I don't think I've heard of
$8
that
for
one.
the whole year, and it just like cuts out so much spammers and
What is
it knows
Clean
what
Talk?
countries.
Yeah.
Spam protection, cloud spam protection.
Yeah,
For forums,
Okay.
boards, blogs, and sites. I've never heard of that one.
it's real. I
Interesting.
found it on a security site being talked about, and I tried it, and it's really awesome. Even though whoever the owners are in not Russia, but what are those countries next to Russia?
Gotcha.
Kazakhstan,
Kazakhstan
whatever.
and
Ooh,
Romania.
Yeah. But
Elaine, you've been taken over by a robot.
Yes.
We're getting some weird audio on you.
What kind of hosting are you using at Bluehost?
At Bluehost, he's just got a shared hosting there.
It's possible there could be like a rogue actor like on a different site that could maybe be getting into.
I threw that at him. He suggested that when he talked to Bluehost that they didn't indicate anything on that. But what they said, what it appeared to be that they'd been working on his site for some time, just trying different passwords, and different passwords. So they said they've been hitting him pretty hard for some time. And knowing the organization that we suspect, that would not surprise me.
Okay. Yeah, then you're going to need, like you said, I would just create a brand new admin account, new email address, new password, lock it with two-factor authentication, and immediately log in with that one and delete the other one. And that gives like no chance for anything to go out for either one.
Right.
So that's going to be one of the first things you can do to like lock that down. Because if they've got some kind of logging in to get the password resets every time he changes the password, there's a couple of different ways that you can like hook into that kind of stuff. So if he's got access, if they're hacking into his email account, they've got access to his password resets.
Yeah, we don't know if that's happening or not because he had no problems with his email. It was it appeared this week on his website, and he's got it up and running now. But okay, I'll pick up on those few. Appreciate that. And
okay,
I'd also maybe migrate to a host like a WP Engine or a Flywheel. That if you're just using standard shared hosting on Bluehost, security standards in general might not be.
I've already suggested that.
Yeah, it may take a while for them to do that, but do it.
Yeah, I've suggested that to him too. We'll see what happens if he does that. Yeah.
Right.
Like if you find security needs to be a priority for you, the security needs to be a priority for the host you're at. You know.
Yeah.
That's the only way to ensure it.
Yeah. Well, Andy, thank you for joining us all the way from Canada.
Yeah, 250 miles over to Montana.
Awesome. You're going to dial in for the Newport Richie next week? Oh, yeah, I bet. Jeez. You may never get to come back again.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in December.
Right, exactly. So, all right,
I
man.
hope it gets cleaned up. Thank you.
So we'll see you next week at the Newport Richie call, right?
You bet. Yeah.
Awesome.
You bet.
Good to see it.
All right.
Good to see it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Okay, cool. All right, so looking at our Meetup group, we do have one phone call, or one mess question out there. There's two, actually, but we'll start with the first one that I see. Looks like we've got I'm going to go ahead and just cut and paste it and drop it into our comment section real fast. Okay. So from John Hammer Link. And folks out there on Facebook or on YouTube, there's 12 visitors watching this show right now. Ask questions. From John Hammerlink, is there a good quoting system that works with WordPress and one that interfaces with QuickBooks for invoicing and payment? The only one that I'm aware of that has a QuickBooks interface is a WooCommerce add-on. And I don't know if that's what you mean by a quoting system, if you mean as in like to build something, but you could do that sort of a thing within a form. It depends on what kind of quoting system you're talking about. When I did freelancing, I was using the Square, the little guy that sits on top of your phone or your iPad, and I used their shopping cart system to kind of create like a price list, and I would do a quote that way. So that was one of the messes. Oh, here's John. He's actually physically in our chat. So I'm going to ask him if he wants to join the call. But anyway,
there's also
go ahead.
There's Sprout Invoices, which through Zapier can connect with QuickBooks and other systems. They also have integrations with a couple payment gateways, integrations with Gravity Forms, all that kind of stuff.
I've never heard of that one. Let me check Sprout Invoices. Well, Sprout would be interfacing through our Zapier, right?
They interface with QuickBooks through Zapier, but like they have a direct integration with a few form plugins, including Gravity Forms, Ninja Forms, WP Forms.
Oh, they built one?
Yes.
Oh,
They
okay.
integrate directly with WooCommerce, WP e-signature, Toggle for time tracking.
Wow. Okay. Here, I'm gonna just
and then
go ahead and
Zapier to handle
I'm
all
gonna
the other
take this
stuff.
question away, and here, I'll drop it in the thingy. Like, there it is, and there it is, and oh, add a string. There it is. Hang on, let me zoom that in a little bit. So yeah, there are features. Where'd you see the integrations at?
If you go to the top in the
oh, add-ons, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So bundled comes with Square payments, most of the standard, yeah, Square Cash, WooCommerce checkout, to checkout. Dang, this is pretty cool. Nice. And I guess it's the third-party integrations. Is that the one?
Yes. Yeah.
Zapier. Okay. Ninja Forms, Gravity Forms. Okay, cool. Very nice.
That's nice. Wow.
Yeah. Never even heard about it. What's the pricing on this baby?
It starts at $59.25 a year.
That's not bad.
No,
That's not
it's
bad.
not.
With all of those,
No.
with Square Cash and Square payments right off the bat. Dang.
Ah.
All right, let me get this little. I'm sorry, I just realized that banner was still on your face, Mr. Travis. There you go.
It looks like some of the payment integrations are at on one of their higher tiers, the Plus tier, which is $119.25 for your first year. It's still pretty reasonable.
But for a year, that's not bad. Yeah.
Unlimited
No, it's
invoices, unlimited clients. It's all on your
Yeah.
local site, so you own everything. And
Yeah. I mean, because Zoho and stuff like that was much more expensive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoho, CRM, and
FreshBooks is more expensive as well.
FreshBooks. Oh, there's another one I used. I can't remember the one. It was the only one that integrated with Harvest at the time, and I can't think of which one that was. Oh well. So.
yeah,
All
they've
right,
been around for quite a while too.
Cool. Thank you. Good searching, Mr. Travis. While I was sitting up here chatting. Okay, our next question we have is something from Cynthia Adshade on WooCommerce setup. But all she said was WooCommerce setup. So, Cynthia, if you were out there, from Cynthia Adshade, WooCommerce setup. If you're out there, Cynthia, reach out to us. Let us know what kind of questions you have about your WooCommerce setup. What do you mean?
Setting up WooCommerce?
Yeah, or questions about your WooCommerce setup. So, that's it. No more questions, people. We're all done. We can go home now.
Kamari, somebody named Kamari said how to start as a beginner.
Oh, okay. How did I miss that one? Okay. That one, we have if you're talking about a beginner to WordPress, oh, there he is. Hello, I've just recently graduated from coding boot camp to a tough economy, and finding a job has been difficult. Oh, here, I'll just put another thing. Ding. Finding a job has been difficult. Is there any courses or people you would suggest on learning WordPress? Yeah, our primary one that we always recommend, and I'll just fire up our little website over here and bring it up. There we go. If you, oops, add to string. There it goes. Okay, let me get rid of that question real quick, Kamari. If you go to our website here, let me zoom it in just a little bit so it's a little easier to read. There we go. Okay. If you go to our WordPress support and our FAQ, I don't know anything about WordPress. Do you offer beginner training? I think we may have mentioned this at the last meetup, but this link here, yes, WordPress for Essential Training. That one right there. Morten Rand Hendrickson. All of the classes by this guy are amazing. They are like the best ones. And lynda.com is free through your library connection. And so that's kind of one of those kind of things. That's what I recommend, and also using local by Flywheel. Try local for free. Oh, look, the video. Oh, I remember that from last week too. Local lets you set up local environments, and allows you to basically play with WordPress without having to go to a hosting service. So you can and this application is completely free. So you can make as many of them as you want. You can play around with the different plugins and add-ons and themes. It's amazing for that, especially since you just came out of development class. And if you went to Suncoast, you more than likely learned object-oriented programming and React and some other stuff. You will learn PHP very quickly if you need to look into it. So, wouldn't you say, Travis?
And you're in a very, very good spot to start learning how to use Gutenberg, how to build Gutenberg blocks. That's heavily JavaScript and React.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Oh, yeah. John, if you're out there, can you please join the call? Yeah, Suncoast developers. Good. Thought so, Kamari. Okay. Let me make
I would
sure
look at just the WordPress, the codex itself, just on WordPress.org, and also WP Beginner.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as like a training class, that one, the essential training, because you can stream through the stuff that you already are comfortable with. If I go back to that one again, the way they do the classes on lynda.com, they have the entire transcript for each chapter. And as you're going through, you can make it go faster if you're following the stuff more quickly. And that's a good one. He also has a theme course, I believe, and some getting started with Gutenberg, and some getting started with Gutenberg blocks and stuff like that as well. So, highly recommend that direction. I also would suggest maybe joining like one of the advanced WordPress Facebook groups, maybe, and reaching out to those guys for some good references. So, because they live in it all day long. John has there's John. Okay, cool. We're going to add him to the stream now, so let me get rid of that. And
Mike's working.
Hey, John. Hi. We hear you. We see you. Hello.
Oh, great. Hey.
So I saw your question. You said you've got a client that's looking for an automated quoting system based on a couple of factors: zip code, documents.
I can explain. Yeah, I can explain quickly. He's
we can hear you. Yeah.
He's had a website that I guess I'm getting an echo or a delayed reaction, but
if you've got your volume on or you're streaming, you probably want to turn that off.
Yeah, you just want to turn the computer screen volume off, and then that way you're just listening to us directly talking to you. Yeah, because otherwise you are going to get an echo.
How's that?
We hear you fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're not getting an echo,
Ryan.
but I think you're listening to us on the stream as well, and you don't need to. Does that make sense? Like if you've got it on Facebook Live, just pause that one, or if you've got it on YouTube, pause that one. And since you're on our call with StreamYard, we can hear you directly. How's that?
Well, it's on Facebook Live, but I don't see where I can pause.
Yeah, you probably have to click out of the Facebook browser or just turn your monitor volume off.
Or when you're on the Facebook Live, you can actually drag that little, there should be a volume button on the Facebook Live, just drag that down.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we hear you fine.
Yeah.
And now I can't hear you at all, so.
Then you must have dragged the wrong volume button.
I only see one. So let me give this a shot, and I won't worry about the echo.
Okay. Just talk. You'll be okay. Yeah.
It's a great delay. It's about 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, that's Facebook and yeah, you're live when you're talking to us, but the stream is 30 seconds behind us.
Okay.
I can probably help you if you turn your volume back up on your monitor, and I'll show you. Tell you what, I will fire up Facebook Live, and I'll show you what we want you to. What you're going to need
headset,
to do.
So.
Yeah, that's
just go
what
ahead
I
and close out all tabs that aren't this StreamYard.
Yeah.
Yeah, just close Facebook.
Facebook isn't open. As I can tell.
YouTube?
Something's got to be open.
Yeah, because you chatted with us through YouTube, so you must have YouTube open.
All right, let me close one more. How's that?
We're fine.
Fine for us.
Yeah. You're the one we're worried about.
Okay, I think this is better, and I'll just talk anyway.
Okay.
This is a process server. He serves 1,200 zip codes in Michigan someplace. And he has a website that was coded 10 years ago. Well, what's happening to him is each time he quotes automatically by zip code and by the number of documents. But what happens is that creates 1,200 duplicate pages with only the price change. So he's wanting to create a new website, but to do that, he wanted a quoting system that would be automatic. He wanted the invoice off the quotes. If they accept the quotes, then they'd get an invoice. And when they paid the invoice, it'd go directly to QuickBooks. Well, that was his request. And he wouldn't wait for me to give him a solution because I primarily work with SEO. So he went ahead and evidently found a developer somewhere to do this. I actually, for grins, quoted from India, and they said they'd do it for $5.99. So I can't believe they can do it for $5.99, but it is India.
Okay.
But it was a exercise for me to see if you could interface those things with WordPress. And he's also wanted to do it with a portal theme.
Yeah, as far as like WordPress website themes, that doesn't really. You're more focusing on functionality.
Right.
And
he just had paid for the theme, so he wanted to do it with that theme.
People always do that. Yeah, never let your clients buy themes. If they're going to start doing that, you really don't want them as clients, because that means they're trying to do all of this themselves anyway, and you're going to end up constantly. They're either coming to you for your expertise or they're not. And that's just a recommendation that once they start doing the stuff on their own, you kind of need to cut the cord, I think.
Well, he bought this some time ago, you know, in a typical legal profession. They made an investment of $50 and they don't want to give up on it. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, that kind of a process of like delivering documents based on a quoting system and things, you can do that within a form.
But you could probably use Gravity Forms to like have like the main quote page where they put in like what they need. Then like probably on form submission, you could use some code to, based on zip code, calculate what that price is. I imagine you could simplify the logic a little bit, because I'm guessing there's certain zip code ranges that are charging the same amount. Like it's not like each individual zip code is unique.
Well, even if it was, it'd be a fix for a zip code, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And then from there, you could actually use Sprout Invoices with their Gravity Forms integration to generate an invoice right off that.
Yeah, I figured there was a simple solution, but he wouldn't wait 2 days for me to give it to him. So, but
yeah, if they won't wait 2 days, they're not worth it. I hate to say it, but yeah,
you know, he still wants me to use marketing and SEO, but I'm questioning now whether that's worth it too. But that's okay.
Yeah, just be aware that when they're doing that much stuff on their own, you're going to run into problems. Because it's like basically if you were walking in and someone asked you to do the bathroom for them, and every time you walked in to start work on the tile, they have already laid down the grout, but they laid down the grout before the underlayer, or you know they've done like half the work. Yeah, no, you don't want that. Point. Yeah. So, well, thank you for coming in with your question. We appreciate it. So, and forced us to go look up something else that we knew nothing about. Sprout Invoices. So. All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks,
and,
thanks guys.
Yeah. You have a good one.
Thank you.
We had somebody drop in for a second there, but then they disappeared. So I don't know where they went. We do have another question, though, out there in the world of, let's see. Cynthia asked, I just installed, oh, this is the same Cynthia. Okay. I just installed WooCommerce yesterday. Easy setup. I would love to hear a few beginner tips on how to use it to sell digital products. Are there best practices you recommend? I have never used WooCommerce for digital products. I've only used it for physical products. So I'm going to defer to my other cohorts here for that one. You want to read the question again, guys?
Sure, where to start with best practices. It depends on what you've done before. I mean, WooCommerce is going to kind of walk you through a number of things and processes before. I guess while you're installing it. I mean, it'll walk you through a lot of things, but I mean, I would just suggest reading through the documentation. One thing I would suggest, whenever I'm working with WooCommerce or any type of e-commerce clients, document what your process is first, and document what type of process you're looking for. I mean, literally just sketch it out, like what you want the user to see, what you want them to buy. If you've got different pricing scales, how you're going to deliver and how you want to deliver that product. Is it you say it's a digital download, it's a PDF, or it's a video, or it's a audio file? What type of digital download? What is it that you're selling? So because what I get into a lot is we get into the process, and then the process, they want to change the process. And so to have it documented and well thought out beforehand is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of trouble.
Yeah. And I just checked over this particular article. It's actually from WooCommerce. It's on one of their blog posts. And it actually walks through the whole configuration for setting up virtual or downloadable products. There's actually, I guess it's in the product data section. It helps you design the proper schema for your products. Helps you kind of there's built-in ones for that, but it also helps you, identify those. Talks about adding screenshots, video clips, or samples, making your copywriting compelling, and reviewing your download settings and adjust as needed. So it seems pretty helpful.
And if you're only selling digital products and only plan to sell digital products, maybe check out Easy Digital Downloads, since that's purely what they focus on.
Competitor.
Good point.
But yeah. So let us know if that answered your question, Cynthia, if you have any follow-up questions. I actually had no idea that WooCommerce had that built in now. Nice. That must be new. So, or at least since the last time I used them. When I last used them, I was building a site for brownies. Selling brownies. Online.
Like Girl Scout brownies, or like...
No, brownies.
Brownies.
Big, gigantic...
Like cake brownies.
Enormous, chocolatey... goodness brownies.
That sounds
and I'm not going to say who the company was, but they were saying gourmet brownies, but they were using Betty Crocker's Simply Moist Deluxe, what you call it, chocolate brownie mix, and added chocolate chips to them, and that's it. And maybe additional vanilla, just a little bit of additional vanilla.
I mean, that's
gourmet. And they had it in a huge factory, and they actually had somebody come in. They had their plant organizer come in as those boxes were delivered from Betty Crocker.
No.
And take them all out and dump them into another box so that they looked like they all came from something else.
No.
I laughed so hard when I found that out. It was like, oh my God, you're kidding me. Made from scratch, original recipe. The only thing they didn't do was get a picture of this poor little Nana and say, from Nana's recipes from back in Germany or something like that,
That's like on Friends when she was using the Nestle Toll House.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Too funny.
So
no.
So annoying. So bad. Oh, goodness. We have no questions. We need questions, people. What are you guys working on lately these days? We'll round it around the room. Jen, what are your current projects these days?
An e-commerce site.
Mm-hmm. On what?
What do you mean on what?
What platform? E-commerce.
It's WooCommerce.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I got myself stuck on an API today. So I've got to figure that out tomorrow. We set up an API for email, and I have a plugin that I'm using for because they need a product delivery. So it's not so much like typical e-commerce where you're ordering it and it's being fulfilled by UPS, FedEx, Postal Service, whatever. Like they're actually delivering the product. So we needed a product delivery date. So we've a plugin for that seems to be working well for us. Except I can't get it. It should integrate into Google so that all the delivery dates go into a calendar, and we missed something. It was probably something simple today, so I've got to go back and see if I can figure that out tomorrow, hopefully.
Fascinating and fun.
Yeah, the documentation for it. They had documentation for it, which looked, simple as it always does.
Always.
And we got to like step 2, and that's Google's updated since they've printed or
that documentation
created this documentation. So then we went back to the API creation that we used for the email, and that got us so far, but something was still off. So we got to figure out what that is.
Yeah, I have not done calendar integration in a very long time. Not since, well, I mean, I do it with Calendly and those, but those are always completely kept up to date.
Yeah.
So they have that integration to Google Calendar really clean and seamless.
Well, the calendar only needs to be for internal, just for them. So it's not like Calendly is where you would go into Calendly and select and like schedule a meeting time or an appointment time. So this just needs to be like, hey, this is when I need the product. So internally, they can just figure that out.
Fascinating. It's overkill, but there's one called Fishbowl, and it's a full WooCommerce integrator or shop system, where basically it tracks from like order fulfillment to production to shipping to such and such and such. That's why they call it Fishbowl, because it's like you're sitting inside a little glass box in the middle of a factory and organizing the process. I think they have a lower level version of it. They used it at that factory that I was talking about, because when I did the WooCommerce integration, we started with the base WooCommerce and shipping and the payment gateways. We used AuthorizeNet and a couple others. And then we had an integration to QuickBooks. And that was complicated, but it worked really well. And then they took it off my hosting company without asking and broke everything.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Wow.
They were trying to steal it from... They didn't want to pay me maintenance anymore, and so they just had another company come in and redo their site, and they broke everything. And I said, well, nice. I had no issue if you wanted to move. It was in my contract. You could fire me at any time. You didn't have to go underhanded about it. I would have happily helped you migrate. I would have charged you for it, but
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how I found out about Fishbowl, because they were doing that original integration. How about you, Elaine? What have you been working on?
Various things. One is I'm quoting a client who uses Squarespace. Not that I'm going to be doing much on Squarespace. She needs more, maybe a little social media, a little SEO, a little writing, a little whatever. But I don't know that much about Squarespace. What can you tell me? Tell me.
Well, I did use it for the Nomad Art Bus, and it's easy to sign up for. Like, you get it for, I think if you sign up, you get the pro plan for like a week before you have to agree in, or maybe a little longer than that.
I mean, she already has a site. It's already in Squarespace. Yeah.
Yeah, I would highly recommend letting her become an editor for you, back up her site if you can, or export it, or duplicate it to another account and then play with it over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because once you mess with it,
if you do any editing on her site and publish it, you can't go back. So yeah.
You're kidding.
No, it's pretty icky. We ran into that with the Nomad Art Bus. It was really a pain. You had to like create the new pages, don't publish them, get them all ready to go, and then once you had decided on the new theme, the theme was sitting and pending, ready to go, and then you published it, and everything went up. You couldn't go back. It was quite messy. So I don't highly recommend Squarespace unless you've got the content already mapped out and you know what you're going to do. Because the designs are clean. They've got very clean designs. It's very easy to edit with, I thought. I mean, it's all pretty much like, it acts like it's front-end editing, but it's not really. It's Squarespace editing. Once you've logged into the account, you have access to edit. And depending on what theme she's chosen, do they even call them themes? I think they call them templates. They don't call them themes. But it's whatever template she's chosen. If she's chosen one of the better ones, you have access to a lot more capabilities. And I'm still let me see if I can find it. Birch is the best template system that they use. It's like it's a
What's
family
it called?
Birch. Yeah, I think that's best templates for Squarespace. I'm doing a quick search. Their documentation is really good. I have to admit on that one, their documentation is really good. I'm not finding what I'm looking for there. I think it's Birch, but it's their families of design templates that are all designed the same way, and that's kind of how they work. To get all the really good bells and whistles in Squarespace, though, it's going to cost. Like even
really? They charge for every little bell or whistle.
Any big bells and whistles. Like if you needed to embed a donation forms or most of the e-commerce stuff, they do handle the basic e-commerce, but if you want to do more flexibility in there, you're not going to be able to do it without paying extra. So, and then there's a whole plethora, just like there are in WordPress plugins, there's a whole plethora of people that write all these coded things that allow you to do a lot more stuff, but you have to have the upgraded plan so that you can put those in. So,
okay.
But if you got any specific questions, I mean, you can reach out to me, and we haven't done a. Well, I guess.
I'm not saying I have the client yet. Yeah. I'm just.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah, I would keep that in mind.
Squarespace.
Yeah, make sure that whatever work you're doing, you've got a good window of availability for it and a good buffer in there built in for any of the stuff that she may want you to do for the web, and let her know that Squarespace does have limitations because it is it's a system that you can only do. The tweaks you can do are pretty powerful because you can do a lot of CSS changes. You can really modify the CSS well, but the HTML is not structured well, so it's really hard to get good targeted CSS. So, yeah, you take the good to take the bad, to take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
I only see people with Squarespace websites like illustrators, people who just don't know how to do anything, and they just want to, and they have simple websites.
Yeah. Andy did it for Uptown Eats, and then she jumped. Told me, it's like, well, I did it in like 3 hours. I couldn't have done that in WordPress. And I said, sure you can, if you have all your ducks in a row,
Yeah.
If you know exactly what you're doing and you have all your stuff ready to go, yes, you can do a complete full website with all the integrations and everything in under 3 hours, if you know what the hell you're doing and have it all ready to go and have already thought about it.
That's a big if, though.
That's a lot of ifs there. It's like, yeah. So, but yeah, just make sure you've got a good buffer in the job, and I think you'll be fine. So, but yeah. So how about you, Travis? I know you don't do any side work, do you? You're just lead developer at Gravity Forms, or in the group you're in.
So I rock a genius on the lead developer over at the web team, and we just kind of formed the web team starting as of last week. That's now a thing. And so the first property we're tackling is the main Gravity Forms site, and we're starting to get our ducks in a row. We're planning out a sitemap. We're planning out content architecture, so we can burn that sucker to the ground and start from scratch.
Fancy.
So boy, does it need it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Doing we got so much to do, between integrating.
It looks good.
But it looks good, but there's just so much from just how to communicate what the product does better, how we can better handle the checkout experience and make the checkout experience more flexible, so we're able to do more around it, stuff like that. Yeah. And then on the For Gravity side, with Gravity Forms 2.5 now in beta, all the plugins need to be updated to match the design.
Settings framework.
Yeah. So I have, luckily, working on Gravity Forms 2.5 for many months, I've been aware of what the new design is. So I was working with a UI designer to update all our products along with like what's there now and like where we want to go with it. So as much fun as creating those designs were, someone actually has to implement those now.
Yeah.
So that's,
How do you find working with a UI designer? Or it's UI UX, right? He has a UI UX.
Yeah. UI UX,
did you
and
guys...
he did the site design as well. That's
I knew
how
he did.
That's how we
I knew he did
that.
your site design, and he also wasn't he part of the same marketing team that helped you with your?
He was recommended through Ellipsis, who is
Okay.
So quick shout out for them if you've never heard of them. If you have like a WordPress plugin or theme business, getellipsis.com. They work with smaller WordPress plugin and theme shops out there to help you with your marketing stuff, doing marketing audits, conversion focused copy, content marketing. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, get Ellipsis. I was recommended to my designer through them, and it was a perfect match because he had also been a Gravity Forms user for about 5 years.
Okay, we have some questions coming in from Brittany Howard. Hi, I'm using the Elementor theme with WooCommerce. My client has products that are different colors and different prices, and I have the product type set to external affiliate because we need to redirect the customer to buy the product from the Amazon store. You cannot buy it on the site. Is there a way to have a variable product type so I can show different colors and prices on one product page? Right now, I just use different color images. Yeah, you would... that is actually called part of the variable product system. Let me see if I can find the proper documentation for that. Because the variable products, a lot of people use it, but they don't completely get it. They don't understand that it's a lot more powerful than it initially looks. Because variable products allows you to basically create these self-contained taxonomies.
Attributes.
Yeah, attributes with their own attributes that you can add to those. So they can like create a variable product called category called color, and then within color you can add all the different colors, and you can actually, I think there's actually one of the add-ons, or it may actually be part of the system now, where you can actually add graphic images at each of those color levels, and that's kind of how that works. I don't have, let me see, variable products WooCommerce. I'm trying to find the best documentation for you for that one. There is the now granted, you're on Elementor's WooCommerce builder, so I wouldn't let them do everything for you, but these are
the variable products you do all through WooCommerce. You wouldn't use Elementor for that.
Strangely enough, it actually came up as the very first item on the search, was the Elementor variable products builder, WooCommerce builder, and I'm like going, gosh, Elementor, I don't know who pays for your branding and your marketing and your SEO, but dang. When you come up before WooCommerce, that's pretty bad. That's the link, and let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Oh, I think she's on the, is that Cheryl? That's someone else. Let's see what she needs. Hang on. You asking her? Hang on just a bit. We'll bring you in. We'll bring you in next, Cheryl. Or Cheryl even. Let me share this page real quick and zoom in a little bit, turn that little, this is the link for that doc, Brittany, and turn that little guy off there. Basically within their documentation, they walk about how to create the variable products, but what you're really wanting to do is this section here where you add attributes to use for variations. So like within attributes, you create a product attribute like color, size, brand. I don't know if this were, I don't know, some sort of like machine part, size, you know, scale, millimeters, and all that kind of stuff. You can create any kind of product attribute you want using this particular, oh, that's really not that big, is it? It should be much bigger. Hang on. There we go. And I don't think you can see my mouse. Oh, yeah, you can. Okay, good. Here it is. There's my mouse, kind of. It's this section here is under global attributes is where you create those. And you actually add each one of those at that section. And once you've added the global attributes, they're available for every product you add after that point. And then you can add things within that attribute for like colors and set up their color settings and stuff like that. And that's kind of how that process works. So it's all driven pretty much within WooCommerce's product attributes. She says, I did do that, and I had the different colors set up, but now it won't allow me to change the Buy Now button to redirect the customer to the Amazon store. Well, that sounds like something entirely different. If you're...
Yeah, you'd need an extension or some type of plugin for that.
Yeah, because if they're not buying it at your physical store, they're buying it elsewhere, then that's something entirely different. I don't know if there is a... Let me see. I'll do a quick check. WooCommerce. Integration. Amazon.
So there's one called Product Retailers. There's probably better ones, but I'm just kind of finding them fast. But I would go through the different... I would just do a search.
Amazon and eBay integration for WooCommerce. There you go. That one right there. It's on WooCommerce's site. It's called Amazon and eBay integration for WooCommerce. And it does allow you to connect it to your Amazon account. So, but if you're saying that the products, some products were Amazon, but some products weren't, if you can come back to us with that question, we can go from there. Oh, because it was an affiliate. Yeah, then you're not going to really have a choice on that one, Brittany. They're going to have to be separate products. If they're not able to configure them through variable, here's the question she had. She said that that's why I had to change it to the affiliate product type instead of using variable type. That's going to be a limitation of using that integration. That's kind of the problem. If you're not physically selling it in your store, then you're not the one managing those attributes. So if they're all purchased in Amazon, you're going to have to list them as separate products. There's really not, unless you want to reach out to those the affiliate guys and see if there's a way to integrate with their variable product integration. That's what I would do. Since they wrote the integration, I would check with them and see if there's a way to integrate to the variable products. Okay, we've got a customer or sitting out here, or a call-in person who wants to join us, so I'm going to bring her in real quick. Hey, Cheryl, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Good. Sorry about letting you sit out there in the green room for a while. Hopefully you had some donuts and cookies and things. We try to make our green room really, really comfortable. And
as you can see, it's really...
Yeah, there you go. So you said you have a client who has more than 300 comments on his blog. We now want to turn comments off, but turning them off in settings for a site doesn't seem to make any difference. The posts still display a field inviting comments. Yeah, that's kind of the problem, is once you've turned comments on, you actually have to physically turn them off on every post. You can turn them off on new posts, but old posts will still have them. The only way to get rid of them is to actually, I think, and you guys can correct me on this one, is deleting the comments and then going through and selecting all the posts and turning comments off that way.
Oh, that's really bad news.
Yeah. Blame WordPress. Yeah.
He's had his site for 10 years and he's got, hundreds of posts on it. So I don't think that's going to happen.
One thing you can do is start setting all the forum discussions to moderation. And that will prevent any new comments from coming directly onto the blog. So that'll protect you from the spam stuff. Is that the issue? You're worried about spam, or is it?
No, he's not well, and he's winding things down. He's 90 something,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard to delete comments in bulk. You basically just go into the comments. Here, I'll bring one up real quick.
Well, yeah, I know. I know how to do that. So after I do that, then Then you would do the same thing to the post. You would select bulk edit on posts and turn off allow comments. Let me show you. I think you can do that one real quick.
There's also a plugin called Disable Comments that will allow you to just globally turn off comments on individual post types, and it will not let the individual post override it, so it'll be like a global setting. And if you were to use that, plugin, it has over 1 million installs. Surprisingly
always
popular.
A good sign.
Yeah. If you end up using that plugin to disable comments, and you're still seeing the comment form like on the post pages, that means the theme isn't properly checking whether or not comments are allowed.
Okay.
To display that form. So in that case, like, the theme would need to be modified to remove the form.
Okay.
That's it. Disable comments.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, that would mean that you wouldn't have to delete the ones they've already got as well.
I would not have to?
No, that would just disable them.
Well, that would be good, because,
Yeah.
you know, it would be nice to leave the ones out there that are there. We just don't want to have to deal with new ones.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And I do have it set, so they have to be approved before published, but
Yeah.
since he's not going to be doing it, I don't have to be attending his blog, you know.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Since I have you guys here,
Locked in.
and you know a lot about gravity forms, could I ask you a question?
Sure,
about
absolutely.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple of clients who like to post, they have websites that have blogs integrated as part of the site, and they like to post occasionally. Is there a way to use the Gravity Forms post, automatic post feature, so I could set up a form for them, and then they could use the form, and
it's built into the base Gravity Forms. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna share the page for you because it's easier, I think. Let me see. Hang on. If you go
but
to
there are
Docs,
post fields that are automatically integrated into Gravity Forms. Like when you go in the form editor, there's a post fields section, and if you drag those fields in, like title, body, and stuff, it will automatically, upon submission, create a post based on and populate the specific fields. Like the title will populate the post title, body will populate the post body, etc. If you need to get like a little more granular with the control than what that offers, there's also the advanced post creation add-on, which will allow you to just take any form, regardless of how you set it up. You don't have to use those post fields. And then you can map like this specific form field is the post title, this specific form field is the post body, and you can do like all that kind of like more in-depth setup for it.
That's a really good add-on if you're charging for posts too. Like if you're doing like a directory, or you're doing like an artist's page or something of that nature, or one of those kind of things where people are selling their own stuff and they want to pay to do that. That's a really good add-on for that because you can integrate it with the payment gateway.
And that's the one you're talking about, Jim, is the advanced post creation.
Yeah, advanced post creation is good for that because the post one, the minute the form is submitted, the post is submitted. So there's no feed configuration like on most Gravity Forms. When you're doing something to external systems, you've got to set up a feed. With the post fields, that form that you submit automatically writes the post entry, and you can test that really easily. It's one of the things that it's good to check that out locally to see how it works, because you can set the post to not actually go to publish. You can set it to draft first.
Well, you might remember I was tearing my hair out over.
Was that you with the author page? With
the writer's page.
Yeah, that was you. Okay, I thought your name sounded familiar. Okay. Yeah.
And with your help, I finally got it to where it's working really well. And
good.
People fill it out. I get an email, and I go in and edit and publish it. That's how that's working.
Yeah, so that's the same method. The same method for that will work for your. If you want people to, if they don't want to do the WordPress backend and they're not comfortable with it, just lock down a logged-in form that requires the person to be logged into the WordPress website. There's options underneath the form settings for that form. You can actually say require a person to be logged in.
Okay.
And that will, you could use that form to actually create posts. So.
That's really good. Yeah.
But if you're not doing anything too complex around the post creation, if it's just very simple title, content, featured image, I would probably just use the post fields.
We did for the one she's talking about. We did use the post fields because it was easier. So, it's pretty straightforward, and it works pretty well. So it's just a little.
You'll figure out as you set up the form, if you start like hitting limitations, that's the minute you need to swap using the advanced post creation add-on.
Yeah. Because remember, I think you had advanced custom fields. You had some custom fields, and we were able to map them into the custom field under the post field.
Post body. Yeah. That's what I was missing, and it was the main thing.
Yeah, it was.
So,
it was the main driver for her website was for
Yes.
like people to publish their writers' bios and stuff to the group. So it worked really well, though. I thought it worked well. Yeah, I knew your name sounded familiar. I was like going, why does that name sound so familiar?
because you sent me 25 emails a couple
Yeah,
months ago.
something like that, at least. Yeah.
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 Well, thank you very much. I plan to get here earlier and stay later, but I'm still working on my taxes for 2019 and the first 2 quarters of 2020.
I'm sorry.
No, me too.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing. So I'm going to have
No.
to say thank you and bye, but thank
All right.
you very
Thanks,
much.
Cheryl. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice. I love it when we have. You know how many people that we actually get Gravity Form support that are from Tampa and St. Pete and stuff like that? Quite a few.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot.
Usually, and I'm not going to be mean. Yes, I am. Usually, the very painful ones are always from Tampa. Yeah, she was
Awfully
excellent.
coincidental.
I know, isn't that weird? But true. Well, the ones that are like the Karens and stuff, you know. Yeah, they're always from Tampa. The ones that are sweet and kind are from St. Pete, like Cheryl. See, there you go. Yeah, she was like, it was a very unusual one because it was like looking at the problem and stuff. I was like, going, well, this almost sounds like pods, but it's like, no, it didn't really need to be. She was using the blog post stuff, and most of the issues were honestly with the theme. The theme had too many. It handled the featured images weird, so she actually had to put the images into the post itself. So that was the weirdness with that one. So. But yeah, okay. All right. Well, I think we've handled a lot of questions tonight. We've been on here an hour. We've talked about what everybody's working on. Side note on the whole thing. You know how we've always said before you do a plugin update, make sure you do a backup, put it on your staging site, test the updates on your staging sites first before you put them on live. Yeah. WordPress St. Peter or WordPress TampaBay.org 3 times now. I've had a plugin update that it should be simple, just a plugin update. Kaboom! Blew up the site, but luckily Flywheel does a backup every day, so I can just restore the site just like that. But I find that very interesting that nowadays, more and more often, plugins conflict with each other for strange, bizarre reasons. And
Well, how many plugins are on that site now?
Probably about 15. Not that many.
Yeah.
But we have like big systems. We have pods, we have event calendar, we have gravity forms, we have, it's a very in-depth site. So it's pretty robust. And it has a lot of content, a lot of integrations. And yeah, Travis, you're right. Always disable Gutenberg before doing any updates.
What?
The plugin version of it?
Yeah, the plugin version of Gutenberg, because
that's probably where you'd find
bleeding.
the conflicts.
Yeah, I wish that it had a setting like most other themes and stuff do that says, give me the current version, but make sure that it's clean and tested and beta tested. Not the one with the bleeding edge code that breaks everything, okay? So, yeah, that has been my biggest issue, has been having Gutenberg, the plugin, physically on the sites. So I can no longer recommend putting the Gutenberg plugin on your site unless you're just testing Gutenberg to figure out what it does. Until the code from Gutenberg is physically rolled into the WordPress release, don't do it. It just white
What are
screen
you
us
advising
all.
then? What do you advise? Just use the Gutenberg that comes with WordPress?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should
You're not
only
gonna
be
get
using the plugin version if you're doing actual block development.
Yeah. Or if you're testing like writing documentation for an upcoming release or something of that nature. It's too bleeding edge and it's got too many issues. Like just left and right all over the place. Crazy stuff. So,
Okay, that's good to know.
and I don't even have all of the beta features turned on either, like all the crappy stuff like, full screen editing and menu editing and theme editing and everything. So even just having the most recent Gutenberg plugin was enough to break the site on 3 updates. So, and I have a feeling it was plugins that had Gutenberg blocks that were part of their actual integration, and that was the reason why they would crash. So, because it crashed 3 times on an event calendar, it crashed on Yoast, which I'm going to be getting rid of, I think. I haven't even installed Google Sitekit yet because I've been trying to do all the other updates first. So, yeah. Fun!
Sorry to hear that it crashed on you there. But yeah, I think I saw your comments on Slack about.
Yeah, this is why we install on staging and not on live.
Got to practice what you preach.
Exactly, must practice what you preach. If you have a site that's very dependable and you're using it and it's production, always do your updates on a staging copy, not on your live site. Oh. Or if you are going to do it on your live site, have a backup from the day before, because you got a wonderful host like WP Engine or Pagely or Local or Flywheel, and they automatically do it, and you just click a button and say, restore my site for me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Did you see that newest e-blast from WP Beginner and how they have now, they had their own hosting thing they invented or whatever, and now they have moved to SiteGround in their Google Cloud, and they built something special for them so that they're never down even for a second.
Okay.
Sounds to me like someone signed a partnership with SiteGround.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too.
So now they're
you can always tell. Yeah, like when Genesis got bought by WP Engine, and all of a suddenly, all your Genesis framework themes were, or Studio Press. Sorry, they changed the name. It's no longer Genesis, right? It's called Studio Press.
Studio Press before.
Oh, they
were
Studio
Press more or less. But what happened really? What is your final report?
Oh, they got bought by WP Engine, or they made that nice little agreement, and that's why that's all that WP Engine pushes is Studio Press themes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm pretty happy with my Generate Press theme. I like it. It works. I have it, and
have you been using Generate blocks? A little bit, you said.
Here and there. Yeah, here and there. I do plan on I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I'm planning on redoing the primary load landing page for Tampa Bay WordPress, where we at least have some info blocks at the top to drive people to specific forms, maybe. I don't know. And I'll probably do those with Generate blocks. Anything to get it. Right now, you've noticed the page is very text heavy. It has no pizzazz. It needs some pizzazz. So, at least a little pizzazz. Not a lot of pizzazz, just a little pizzazz. Because we still want them to go to the direct things we want them to go to. Go to the calendar, go to the Meetup, go to the Facebook, go to the thing. Do the things that we want you to do, and yeah, use the site. But I would love to find a bulk keyword and categorizer thingy, so that that was easy to use in WordPress.
Because, what does that mean?
All of our existing events, all of our existing talks, all of them have videos attached to them, and we use them quite often as resources. You've noticed this. But when you're searching the site, we're just using WordPress search, and it's kind of crappy. And it can't find things unless you know the exact title and stuff like that. So I kind of want to go through and actually keyword all of our prior posts and stuff and give them good keywords so that we can actually kind of start building up a library of content, or organized content.
But not tags,
Yeah, we're using tags. I call them keywords because I'm not using WordPress's tags. I'm using no, actually, I am using WordPress's tags. I'm sorry. I think. I don't know. I forget. It's been a while.
I might switch to using the Jetpack search soon, because that's Elasticsearch powered.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
What
I was going to Elasticsearch.
Elasticsearch. What is that?
Elasticsearch is a database-driven search engine. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Well, Elasticsearch is a type of database. You primarily store everything as JSON objects. I'm just busting out here the.
Oh dear.
The definitive.
Oh my god. I haven't seen one of those bot books in forever. An O'Reilly book. Oh my god.
It clocks in at about. The index starts at page 669.
Holy crap! That is a huge book. Yeah.
But you can do, because you store everything as JSON objects, and you can you define properly a proper database, what every item is, or what each item type is, it's an integer. string,
If
etc.
you ever want to chat about it in depth,
Yeah.
go look up Scott Kingsley Clark. He wrote the Elastic Press, or he worked on the Elastic Press with that company that wrote it originally. So,
but what's great with
quite a bit about
Elasticsearch is how quickly it can search through literally millions of documents.
Yeah.
And you can do some crazy stuff with the geo-fencing searching and stuff like that. Getting
you can
very
also do
granular.
a really powerful weighted search. So
Yeah.
if you want certain things to certain search type titles, or if you want date or not this, or maybe you've got another field that specifically defines what you want that thing to be found with first.
You would
can
think
do that kind of stuff.
real estate would get with that.
Yeah, real estate would be doing that, but it's expensive and complicated.
Because you have to have a couple servers. You have to have a main one, and then a couple other ones that share. They each have shards of the data, and
yeah, that's the reason why things related, if you've ever noticed, if you go to WP Engine or Flywheel or any of the bigger hosting companies, they won't let you do things like related search, typically, related post search or any of those kind of things, because they do a lot of thrashing on the database. They're constantly reading every document, parsing content on it, comparing it against other content, and then creating all these little things. Jetpack has a service for it, but all of that is done on their servers and not on your servers. So if you have a related posts plugin from Jetpack, it will do it on their server instead of your server. The yet another related post plugin does it on your database, and it will tear your databases to pieces. It's just like trying to do if you had something that wanted to show a random post, and it was maybe if you had a lot of activity on your website and you had a random post that popped up every single time someone hit a page, that random post, that searching across your entire database for that one random post, that particular query is also quite thrashing for your database, and it can your hosting company will typically not allow that. That's why I think
depending, of course, on the size, the number of posts you have, and
exactly,
the hosting setup, and
you have to have it turned on. Let's put it that way. You have to reach out to them to have it turned on. For RAND is the word, if they're for random posts. But I know even related products, I think, in WooCommerce can get really ugly pretty quickly if you have a really large product database and stuff like that. So
some of the smarter plugins will pre-cache that data instead of pulling it fresh every time.
Yeah, I've always felt suggesting related products based on actual products that you would upsell with anyway. That's a better method than letting it do it organically. You're not Amazon, and you're not Google. You don't need to be. You need to. Your customers know what an upsell is, and the appropriate way to upsell what products they want to upsell. And I think that's a better way to handle that kind of stuff, or it should be, depending on if they're a customer that has, 18 million products or 100.
18 products.
Yeah, we're 18 exactly. So we're 38 like we do. Or 40. Is it 40 or 38? 49? 39? Can't remember. How many add-ons? 3 licenses.
I've lost count.
Yeah, I've lost count on how many add-ons we have too. So go figure.
I've lost count of how many I've written.
I can imagine that. Yeah. So we are at 7:45, and we have no new questions coming through. So I have a feeling that we are going to wrap this. So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Like I said, we have another talk next week for Newport Richey. Go to our wptampabay.org, click the calendar, click the link for the RSVP, go to that Newport Richey call. If you live in Newport Richey and you want to support that thing, you guys have been asking for that meetup to come back, go attend. And the week after that, we have a Google 101 talk. Right, Jen? Jen's making faces. She's like, yep.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we have a talk.
I'm looking at something.
We'll figure it out. It'll be fun. Okay.
I'm looking at my settings for YouTube.
Okay, so as always, visit our website, wptampabay.org. You will find everything else about us. You'll find out about our Facebook group there. You'll find out about our YouTube channel, find out about our Slack chat, and you have the calendar link to all of our meetups. If you enjoyed this lovely little meetup that you came to there. Ask us anything. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. There are the little things right below. There's a big subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe that. Make sure you click the little bell. The bell will notify you when there's new stuff to be added on our YouTube screen. You'll find out about these scheduled events way in advance. It's wonderful. That's pretty much it. I want to thank everyone here this evening, Jen, Elaine, Travis, for joining us, and thank you, Cheryl, and I've lost all the names now. Everyone who came in, Andy and Cheryl and John, or Paul, who came in and joined our call tonight. That was really nice. And we will see you, not here in a week, but we will see you in 2 weeks on the 21st for the Google 101.
And don't forget to wear a mask and stay 6 feet apart, people.
That's quite true. Even if they're not making it mandatory, do the right thing and wear a mask and protect people like me protect people like me and Elaine who are old. Right, Elaine?
Right.
Dang, Elaine. Get him.
If you take only one thing away from tonight, that's the thing.
Yes, wear a mask.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Wear a mask. Okay, folks. I gotta find my little thingy. Where is it? There it is, Brand. Where'd the video, end cap video go? Ah, okay. All right, I will chat with you all 2 weeks. Thank you for watching our recorded session from WordPress St. Pete Meetup. We meet twice a month on the first and third Tuesdays in downtown St. Pete at the Suncoast Developers Guild. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up in YouTube and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new videos are added. Find out more about WordPress St. Petersburg at our website at wptampabay.org.